The 2026 U.S. National Defense Strategy, America's dramatic shift. The Pentagon has just released its 2026 National Defense Strategy, and it represents the most dramatic shift in American military policy since the Cold War ended. This isn't just another policy update, it's a complete reimagining of America's role in the world. Let's break down what's actually changing and what it means. For 3 decades after the Cold War, America tried to be everywhere, doing everything for everyone. Nation building in the Middle East, maintaining bases across the globe, acting as the world's policeman. According to this new strategy, that era is over. The document is blunt: we can no longer afford to be everywhere, doing everything for everyone. Instead, the Pentagon is embracing what it calls common sense realism, focusing on direct threats to American interests rather than trying to solve every global problem. The strategy rests on 3 foundations. First, America first, prioritizing U.S. national interests over abstract global commitments. Second, peace through strength, the idea that overwhelming military power prevents conflict. Third, common sense realism, assessing threats based on concrete interests, not ideology. Here's something remarkable: for the first time in decades, defending American territory is the top priority. The strategy treats illegal migration, narco-terrorism, cyber attacks, and drones as equal threats to traditional military competitors. The focus has shifted closer to home: the Panama Canal, Greenland, the Arctic, and what the document calls the Gulf of America. This is described as a new Monroe Doctrine for the 21st century, reasserting American dominance in the Western Hemisphere. China gets special attention as the central strategic challenge, the most significant long-term rival America has faced in over a century. But the goal isn't regime change or containment in the Cold War sense. It's denial, making sure no power can dominate the United States or its allies. The strategy calls for robust defenses along the first island chain and making any Chinese aggression militarily futile through what is called deterrence by denial. Here's where things get really interesting. On Russia, the tone is notably different from previous Pentagon documents. While Moscow is acknowledged as a regional threat with nuclear capabilities, the strategy emphasizes that Europe's collective economy vastly exceeds Russia's. The implication: European nations need to take primary responsibility for their own security. America is shifting focus to the Indo-Pacific and Homeland defense. In the Middle East, the strategy claims recent operations have destroyed Iran's nuclear program and weakened groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. The new approach centers on empowering Israel, strengthening Gulf partnerships, and expanding the Abraham Accords, not maintaining large American military presence. One of the most concrete proposals is a new global defense spending benchmark, 5% of GDP. That's split between 3.5% for core military and 1.5% for security costs. This is a massive escalation from NATO's current 2% target. The message is clear: America won't subsidize the security of wealthy nations that can defend themselves. The strategy organizes everything into 4 lines of effort. 1. Homeland defense, border control, missile defense including the proposed Golden Dome, counter-drone tech, and cyber defenses. 2. China deterrence, maintaining military superiority in the Indo-Pacific through advanced capabilities and strong regional alliances. 3. Burden redistribution, Europe handles European security, Middle Eastern partners lead in their region, South Korea takes primary responsibility for the Korean Peninsula. 4. Industrial revitalization, reshoring defense production, prioritizing AI and emerging tech, ramping up weapons manufacturing to make America the arsenal of the 21st century. A key concept here is the simultaneity problem, the risk of facing multiple major conflicts at once. The solution: allies must transition from dependents to full contributors. Regional partners become the primary deterrent, with American support playing a secondary role. This fundamentally restructures the alliance system that's defined American strategy since World War II. The strategy's conclusion makes everything explicit: America is offering the world a transactional relationship. No universal domination, no moral leadership of the international system. Just zero tolerance for threats to American interests and readiness to use decisive force when necessary. As the document states, peace is only possible when America is strong. Strength is not for conquest, but for deterrence. So what does this all mean? Supporters say This is overdue realism acknowledging American limits and demanding allies pull their weight. They argue the post-Cold War model was unsustainable and clarifying priorities is essential. Critics worrying about two things: will allies see this as an opportunity for autonomy or as American abandonment? And will adversaries view this as credible deterrence or an invitation to test American resolve in areas now designated as lower priorities? What's certain is that the 2026 National Defense Strategy marks a clear turning point. Whether it's wise adaptation to changed circumstances or a dangerous retreat from global leadership, that's the debate we're about to have.